Hi, this is the Cyderbaby pod, and today I'm speaking to Karl from Memoriam. Hello.
Hi there, Dave. Hello, Cyderbaby. How you doing?
Not so bad, mate. You're looking well.
Yeah, feeling good. Yeah, ready, rolling, and it's been quite a busy month. January and December.
Yeah.
All kind of doing all the promotional activity for the exciting new release,
Well, it's
which is
nearly
due
upon
out
us.
imminently.
Yes. So what? Friday?
Absolutely, yeah. Friday, yeah. Where are we now? Wednesday. So 2 days in 2 days'
Yeah, 2
time.
days.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So it's all been very busy, which is great. So
Yep.
lots of interest, and the reviews are starting to come flooding through. The grapevine through the social media sites, etc., and they all seem to be positively glowing. So that's great. Great
Yes.
news. Great feedback.
Yeah. So the new album, Rise to Power. Tell me about it.
Rise to Power is our fifth Memoriam album, the second album of the second trilogy of albums that we are putting together. So yeah, it's pretty good, even though I say so myself. It kind of builds on the strengths. I think it's kind of quite clear that each album we do, there's a progression with each album that we do. And this one is no different in that respect. That we built on the strengths of the last album to the end.
Yeah.
We built on that, and we've developed it and taken it on a further level, which is great, and all the feedback I received so far has been very, very positive. That's great to hear.
Yeah. I mean, it like you said, it's quite a progression from Fallen, which is what your first album.
Absolutely, yeah. It's taking a while for us to kind of develop as a band, kind of formulate our sense of identity and the direction in which we're going in. But as we've gone along, we've learned from each album.
Yeah.
And things have clicked. We've taken on board ideas which we stick with. I think one of the key elements of obviously what we do visually, we've got Dan Seagrave, who's been on board from album number 1, which tells a lovely linear story throughout the two trilogies that we put together.
Yeah.
But importantly, I think is the fact that by album number 3, we went to Parlour Studios and engaged the services of Mr. Russell down in Kettering, and I think that was a big click in the dynamics of the band. We found somewhere we're very comfortable with, who understands what we're doing and where we're coming from. And so we managed to, once we got those kind of formulas in place, the blueprint for what was Memoriam was in place, and we've just built on that ever since. And each album, we're quite willing to try and test different ideas. We've got pretty much a blank canvas when it comes to it's old school death metal. It's got to have a groove. It's all about the riff. That's the key. But apart from that, we are pretty open to experiment and try different sounds, tones, and textures. And that's what works really well for us, and we continue to do that as we progress with the band moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, going back over last couple of days listening to your older albums, this one, I mean, you're quite modern sounding, but like you said, you still kept the core of the old school death metal, like you said. So was that a challenge writing, or was that
I think really what's happened was, first 3 albums, when we first set out, our original conception and idea was to release an album every year consecutively moving forward. Okay, which we did successfully with the first 3 albums. However, then we got the massive impact of a thing called COVID, which you may have heard of, which kind of impacted our ability to communicate with one another and engage with, and it prolonged the songwriting process.
Yeah,
which was an imposed kind of like delay of. So it took us 18 months as opposed to a year to write album number 4, and it kind of worked really well for us. That kind of that extra 6 months delay enabled us to sort of just a big bowl of Bombay mix, and it's all stuck in my teeth.
I'll edit that out. Don't worry about it.
6. That's all right. I like Bombay mix. You absolutely
cool.
Want.
No, you're right. Thanks.
So that extra 6 months really kind of worked well for us. It gave us the ability to spent a little bit of extra time structuring the songs, you know, working on the format. For me, lyrically, it worked really well because it gave me the chance to, you know, write the songs, rewrite the songs, demo the songs. So I learned them all. Yeah, I learned them all in advance going to the studio, which was great because when I entered the studio, I could just concentrate on just delivering them, not worrying about whether they fitted or whether the words were right or the structure was right. Because I knew that because I demoed it. So that really went well. So we've used that moving forward. So again, for this new album, we took 18 months to prepare and we did the whole demoing process again. And I think that adds to the album being a stronger album, the last two in particular, because, you know, it's really more concise. And we focused on, you know, from my perspective, I was focused entirely on the delivery of the vocals, spent more time focusing on that rather than worrying whether the words were right or whether they fitted. So that was a big bonus. So we've learned from the we continue learning. That's one of the great things with Memoriam is that, you know, we've been doing it for, you know, in our respective bands for over 30 odd years, but we're still learning new stuff, you know, and doing new stuff and trying out new ideas and things like that. I think another standout, there's a few factors. I think another standout factor of this album is that you know, I'd like to think that definitely think that Scott's you know, constantly developing in his confidence as a guitarist as well. You know, so he's very assured of his style and he knows what works and what doesn't work now for what he does. That really has added to the guitars on this album in particular. They've got a certain feel to them. You know, there's a lot more edge, a lot more melancholy tones and textures to them, which works really well with the overall sound of Memoriam. And of course, you know, it can't go unstated that, you know, the impact of Spike and his drum playing ability has really pushed the band, you know, to another level in many respects. Because, you know, last album To the End was great. He'd only been with us for about 6 weeks before we threw him into the studio to record the drums. So he didn't really get much chance to, you know, kind of like engage with the songs and learn them and put the different nuances and different tones and textures and his trademark sound on that. Yeah, it came out great, you know, in the 6 weeks he had to learn them. And, you know, a few of the songs you could start to hear, you know, a bit of what he could do. His ability shone through on a few of the songs, particularly, you know, As My Heart Grows Cold, the last final track on there. I think there's a few little Neil Peart moments on there which stand out quite nicely. And that gave us a bit of a taste as to what he can achieve and what he can do. And obviously now, another 18 months down the line, you know, this album's come out. Spike's had quite a big impact. He had a chance to, you know, put his stamp on this album more so. And that really shines through on this album massively. I think the drum sound is huge on this album, which makes a huge difference and pushes it again a little bit in the forward direction that we are achieving. So yeah, it's many factors, and that's what makes the album as good as it is.
Okay. If you were to pick 2 tracks then, which you're really proud of on this new album, which 2 tracks would it be?
That's difficult.
I know, that's why I asked it.
Your favourite child.
No, I hate all mine equally.
Yeah, all that bullshit. No, I'd like to think that my 2 favourite songs, standout songs, are the closing track, This Plane, which is a big, epic, melancholy ending to the album. As most of our albums are, if you note. Ironically, they're the songs that are usually the most toned and textured, many levels on them. Last Words, As My Heart Grows Cold. This one, This Pain. So ironically, they're the ones we can never usually tend not to play them live because we do not really achieve it before us, which is ironic. But that one in particular stands out for me as being one of the key favourite tracks.
Yeah.
And probably the first one, for many reasons. The first one, Never Forget, Never Again, 6 Million Dead, purely on the basis that it's taken me nearly 20 years to write that song. And it's a song that I've always wanted to achieve, but never really had the kind of like the motivation or the inspiration to give that subject matter. It's about the Holocaust. The justice it deserves. But, you know, everything clicked with this one. I heard the riff, that epic morose riff that Scott wrote, and I thought that's the one, you know, and it's aligned with me. I wrote it about this time last year,
Okay.
when it was around about the Memorial Holocaust. Well, every year there's around the 23rd, 26th of January, there's a Holocaust Memorial Day. So there's lots of documentaries on telly, lots of news feeds and social media, kind of context in there. So I was very inspired and taken up with all the diverse stories that have been told. So I drew direct reference to those kind of interviews with people that have actually experienced it, first-hand experience of the Holocaust and concentration camps. And so I drew the lyrics directly from the words that they said. So yeah, I think those stand out for me, are the two standout tracks, but they're all different. They're all great in different ways. Certain sections of certain songs have certain resonance to me for different reasons. But so yeah, it's a strong album. There's something in there for everyone, lots of different things, and we're very proud of it.
Yeah. Okay, you mentioned playing live. I mean, what have you got planned, gig-wise?
Yeah, we have. Well, this year we're doing things a little bit differently. Okay. We found that last year we were incredibly busy. Not only did we have all the gigs that have been postponed from COVID, which we were contractually obliged to play, at the fee that was set 2 years ago, when all the flight costs, accommodation costs, everything had gone up.
Yeah.
So that was tight. And the reality of it is, to be brutally honest, is that we're all getting a bit older, and believe it or not, and we're having to sometimes get up at like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning to get to the airport early because of security issues.
Yeah.
And then fly out somewhere, then have an hour scramble to do a cross terminal run to catch a connecting flight to fly somewhere else, and then there's like a 3 or 4 hour drive to get to another venue. So sometimes it takes like 12 hours of traveling before we get to a show to play it. And 21-year-old me, 25, 26-year-old me would have done that no problem. But at this point, it's getting a bit harder. It's quite hard work. So this year we've decided we're going to be a little bit more selective in what we do,
right?
And pick and choose the ones that we really want to do on our own terms, the ones that we can actually potentially fly out the night before and break that journey up a little bit and make it a lot easier for ourselves so we can enjoy it. You can enjoy the event. Ultimately, we're doing this to enjoy it. That's the bottom line. We do this so we have a good time and doing it. So we're going to maybe be a bit more selective on the shows that we do this year. It's a very, very busy market out there, I've noticed at the moment as well. There's a lot of albums, a lot of bands with albums going out, there's a lot of bands touring that haven't toured for a long time. So there's a lot of competition. So we might step back and just do a few less than what we usually do. Because last year we were doing shows virtually every weekend, every other weekend. We're never going to be a band that jumps on a tour bus and does a 40-day extended tour. That's not what we're about. We're not doing it for that reason. We're doing it. We've got kids, we've got jobs, we've got a life outside of the band, the responsibilities. So we just pretty much do this at weekends when we want to do it, and it works for us well. But we're also busy at this moment in time writing, constructing, structuring album number 6. So we're intending to potentially get all that together and go into the studio towards the end of this year to record album number 6. So that's going to keep us quite occupied and quite busy. So I'm sure that we've got enough to keep us going, and you'll see us out there live. We've got 5 or 6 shows lined up already, which are kind of like haven't been, some of them have been out, some haven't. Right. But yeah, so we'll be busy, but not so busy, not as busy as last year, hopefully.
Yeah. So if anybody sees a date where you're playing, they should buy a ticket and go and see you.
They should, because there's chances we probably won't be in that same area until the year after. So it's kind of like, if you do see any tickets for us on sale playing live, come along, because I say we're not going to be doing so much as we have done in the past. So yeah, it'll be good. We kind of like, we do enjoy playing live. Yeah, part of what it's all about for us is that kind of like on-stage chemistry between the band, that camaraderie between us and the audience, is key. And that's what keeps us alive, keeps us going. It's great.
Okay, Rise to Power is out on Friday. Where can we get such an album, sir?
I would suggest that you hook up with one of the major European distributors, such as Reaper Entertainment Direct. They've got a website. The album's available there. Obviously, Nuclear Blast, all the major EMP, all the major European kind of like retailers have it available. There's a very few limited edition box sets left, so grab them while you can, because they are pretty sexy. Got lots of nice little extra optional bits and pieces in them. Yeah, it's available through all the main distribution websites, you know, Amazon, things like that. So get it while you can. It's selling hot. It's hot. And we are hopefully going to be entering the national network charts in Germany at a reasonably high place. So we're looking forward to seeing what place we get to, whether we're going to beat Hasselhoff this year or not.
Okay, I think on that bombshell, we'll leave it there. Karl, thank you very much. I wish you all the best.
Always good, my friend, and I'll no doubt speak to you again in about a year's time.
You will do. Take care.